Hello guys, welcome back to another video. The semi-finals of Euro 2020 are upon us. So what we're gonna do in this video is we're gonna preview the semi-finals. We're gonna have a look at all countries involved and what we can expect of the games. But before we get into that, please hit that subscribe button. It will help me out a lot. Thank you guys. The first semi-final that's going to be played is Spain against Italy. Spain is a side past its glory days. They're without a real star player after having left Sergio Ramos out. And Spain has also received a lot of criticism during this tournament. Like, Spain can't score any goals, they lack a real striker, Morata is not good enough. There's been a lot of drama surrounding the Spanish team. However, in the knockout stage, Spain scored 5 times against Croatia and once against Switzerland, and they've seemed to be getting more efficient at creating chances. However, I asked you guys yesterday who's gonna win the semi-final, and 16% of you think Spain's gonna win. So Spain is the biggest underdog left, really. They're a bigger underdog, in my opinion, than Denmark. And the fact that Spain is an underdog here is unusual for such a big and historic footballing country. This tournament, they've proven to be good at keeping the ball in possession and quick tiki-taka passing play, as always, but they are lacking that firepower up front. And Italy will be Spain's biggest challenge so far. It's by far the toughest opponent they are yet to meet. The classy Italians have not lost a game for 32 games in a row now. From the very first game, Italy has shown their intentions of winning this tournament and have proven to probably be the strongest team in this tournament. Mancini transformed this team into an unbeatable machine. They do it with passion, determination, grit, and they always fight for each other. There's a real togetherness in this team, and you can definitely see that when they all stand up and sing their national anthem. Like, there's not another country that does it with as much passion as the Italians do. The biggest question mark for Italy, however, going into this game is how much will they miss Spinazzola? You know, Spinazzola went off injured against Belgium and is out for 5 to 6 months. And that's a shame because he's arguably been Italy's most important player, especially going forward. You know, he's been a player that kept on pressing, kept on going forward, and has created a lot of chances for Italy. You know, he may on paper and before the tournament started not have been Italy's biggest player, but in this system, he is Italy's biggest player. This system is made for Spinazzola's qualities because Insigne always cuts inside, meaning that there's always space on the left-hand side for Spinazzola to run into. And now the question is, will another player be able to deliver the same as he does? Can Italy replace those chances that Spinazzola creates? Against a side in Spain, which struggles to create good chances, Italy should be good enough to win this game and to go to the final. Defensively, Italy is one of the strongest teams and they keep on pressing opponents and have great stamina. You know, Italy doesn't allow opponents any time on the ball, but that is potentially where Spain could be good because their main strength is keeping the ball in possession and quick passing. So the question for Spain is, will they be able to deal with the constant pressure that Italy gives? And will they be able to break down their defense with their quick combinations? Now, for the second semi-final, Denmark versus England. We all remember the horrible start for Denmark, and they've been without arguably their star player in Eriksen for this whole tournament. You know, and after a moment like that, it's easy to give up. It's easy to lose all concentration because in those moments, you know there's something more important than football. But they've used this moment as a source of inspiration, as a source of determination. Any game that Denmark has played after that game, they've played without fear. They always try to attack, they always try to create chances, and I respect that. Earlier in the tournament, we saw Denmark lose against Belgium, which was their toughest opponent yet. And Denmark started that game really good, and they played a really good first half, but when in the second half De Bruyne got on, the game changed. But what Denmark has shown this whole tournament is heart and determination to keep on going. And they are deservedly here in the semi-finals. The strongest player of Denmark has been Joakim Maehle, basically Denmark's Spinazzola. You know, he's the main threat. He always creates chances, is always going forward. And in my opinion, he's like the face of this Danish team. But even though Denmark is a very attacking side, will they be able to break down a team in England that hasn't conceded a goal yet? Now, England is a very talented team that in every round so far has been underestimated. You know, this English team has huge pressure on them. Everybody now expects them to make the final, and to have a chance to bring it home. But the English team has always had huge pressure on them, and it's probably one of the reasons why they haven't won anything in a very long time. This tournament, however, England has shown immense concentration in their games. They rarely make mistakes, and the mistakes they did make, they didn't lead to goals. You know, a lot of people underestimate England because of their history, because they've always underperformed in tournaments like these. Yeah, and people would love to see England fail. I don't think there's another country, maybe with the exception of France, that people want to see fail as badly as they want England to fail. But in that hate the English team gets, it's easy to not recognize the qualities they have and the huge growth they've had since World Cup of 2018, where they did really well as well. You know, in the World Cup, most of England's goals came from standard situations, whereas this year, it's mostly been from open play. They are very patient in their attack and they believe they will score a goal. Like, they're not panicking when they haven't scored a goal in the first half. They play tactically so strong and solid, and every team has struggled to break England down and to create chances against them. And that's a real quality. Like, you might say on paper this team perhaps isn't good enough as the Lampard, Gerrard, Beckham, Rio Ferdinand era, etc. But what this team does have that team didn't have is a real togetherness. Like, they're basically just mates playing football together. And that is something that is so difficult to create, and you can't underestimate that. The biggest concern for England going into these knockout stages was the fact that they didn't create enough chances, that they didn't score enough goals. But they have proven people wrong against Germany and against Ukraine, where they created in both games quite a lot of chances. And a big factor as well is that Harry Kane has gotten his form back and could even now become the tournament's top goal scorer after, you know, having scored 3 goals now. I'm sure England would love to prove more people wrong and would want that respect and appreciation that they deserve, because they've been insane this tournament. I would say together with Italy, they've both been the most consistent and strongest team this whole tournament. This game against Denmark though, however, is perhaps one of their toughest opponents. Germany was a tough opponent, but Denmark definitely is a tough opponent as well. Like, Denmark has been better at scoring goals than Germany. Denmark has been better going forward and creating chances than Germany. So Denmark is a bigger threat than Germany was for England. But given the confidence that the English team does seem to have in regards to their defensive solidness, it will be very tough for any team to break them down. And I would say they are the favorites to go to the final. Even though only 57% of you thinks England is the favorite. So you guys think this is a very close game, which I can understand. But in my opinion, England is still the clear favorite because of how defensively solid and consistent they have been this tournament. And that is a huge quality, because a lot of times defense wins you games. But yeah, that's my preview for both of these games. I'm very excited for them. I think we're gonna have 2 great games in store. And yeah, I hope it will be a joy to watch. Please, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe as well to my channel. It will help me out a lot. And I will see you guys later then for another one. Bye bye.